This tutorial will go over how to embed simulations and websites into the Schoology platform. When we take a look at what the tools do, a simulation, we're going to embed an interactive simulation. If you're a math science teacher, you're familiar with simulations on other websites that you might send your students to. We're going to learn how to embed some of those into Schoology. Additionally, certain websites can also be embedded into Schoology. Maybe you find an article online and you want to embed that article from that website into Schoology. We're going to talk about how we can embed that entire website that might contain that article in there. We're going to embed these items into assignment and discussion description boxes. You can embed them into pages, and you can embed them into assessment questions. The reason we want to embed these items into Schoology is because it will help centralize teacher workflow and streamline the student learning experience. If you need to first learn how to use a couple of these tools, what we're going to be using is a tool called Iframe Generator, which will generate the embed code that we are going to need to insert into Schoology. You can also look for other iframe generators by just Googling iframe embed code. There's several websites for that. If you want to reach out at any point to the GOHSD tech team for questions, please go ahead and email us at the address listed. There are a handful of things to know about embedding simulations and websites into Schoology. Firstly, not all simulations and sites can be embedded into Schoology. This is due to some of the security protocols developed by the people who make the websites. Secondly, some reading aids, for example, Google Read Write or Grammarly, may not function while embedded in Schoology. So while we can use those tools on a website that's not inside of Schoology, once we embed a website into Schoology, those functions may not work. Thirdly, some website functions may not display or operate normally while embedded. As a general rule of thumb, test it out before you use it with your students. We're going to go over several different ways that we can do that. To reiterate, within Schoology, we can embed simulations in assignment description boxes. We can embed them in assessment question description boxes. We can embed them in a discussion description box, and we can embed them in a page. The way that we do that is identical, no matter which option you choose. We're going to be modeling that today with the page. So I'm going to start a page, sample embed. Now, the way that we're going to do this in our embed here is we're going to first go locate what we want to embed a simulation. So here is the FET website. Now, they have tons of simulations. Let's say that I would like to embed this simulation here. Now, some sites actually give you the embed code. This is even better. So if you click here, we don't have to create this, it's created for us. So basically, to embed this simulation, we would select embed, and we're going to copy all of this funky looking text here. A good thing to be aware of as you're going onto sites is looking for this logo here or that word there, and that will be a notification to you that there might be an embed option that the website already provides for you. Once we have the embed code, we're going to go back to Schoology. And in the description box, we're going to switch this to HTML by selecting the bottom hollow button. We are going to click in the description box, and we are going to paste Command or Control V. And there's the code. We're going to go ahead and click Create. And we're going to go into the page to see what it looks like. And we see that the interaction is embedded, and it is clickable from the student perspective. And students can go through and complete this here. We can see that a lot of the functions that are available on the website are available here as well. A couple other things we can do. Let's go ahead and edit the page. If you want to change the size is draggable here. Or you can click the image icon here, and you can manually enter the dimensions here if you want to be consistent with the way that you present your dimensions to your students. Go ahead and click Insert and Save. And there's our first one. There's another popular website called Gizmos. We are going to find a simulation. Let's pick tides. And we're going to select Launch Gizmo. It's going to take us to the Gizmo page. And the way that we're going to embed this is we're going to actually, now in this case, they're not going to provide us with the embed code. Down here, there is a share button, but that's just for emailing this to somebody or posting it on social media. So we need to create the embed code on our own. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to first start by copying the URL here at the top. We're just going to select copy. And then we're going to go to a website called iframe-generator.com. You can Google this, or you can type this into the URL bar at the top. Once we do that, We can give it specifications on how big we want it to be if we want to. Once we have that, we can just click in this iframe URL. We're going to paste the URL that we just copied, and we're going to select generate. Once we do that, it automatically generates the embed code that we need. We will then copy it, go back to Schoology. Let's go ahead and edit our page. And again, the same process. Switch to HTML and paste the code in. Go ahead and click Save. We now see that it's been embedded. It will ask us to launch the Gizmo again. You can go ahead and click Launch Gizmo, and we see that everything is here. Again, it does come in pretty tiny. To fix that, you would edit the page, and you can click the corners to drag and make them bigger, or you can select this image icon and manually adjust. Another website with simulations is Pbs Learning Media. They have tons of simulations here that are pulled from simbucket.com. You can pull these and embed these into Schoology in the same way, or you can go to the Simbucket website by clicking here, and the Simbucket website is here, and there's tons more simulations here as well. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing that we did with the Gizmos embed. We're going to have to use Iframe and Generator. And so go ahead and find a simulation that you like. Go ahead and click play. It'll open up into a new tab. And again, at this point, we're going to copy the URL at the very top, copy the URL, go to Iframe Generator. You can simply delete what was there before and paste in the new URL. Click Generate, and it generates a new code for that website. Go ahead and click Copy it. Go back to Schoology, edit our page, switch to HTML, paste the code, click Save. And there we go. Students interact with it. You can see as I'm doing here. And they can go through and make these determinations here, follow directions. These things are all interactive here. So that's the process for embedding a simulation into Schoology. Again, check it first before you have your students go here. To embed a website, we're going to show you 4 different examples. We're going to show you 2 working examples and 2 examples that are not going to work. And we'll talk about why that might be the case as we go through. The first example we're going to show is a general website. We're going to embed the Wikipedia website into here successfully. And then we're also going to embed a website that requires a login either by students or teachers. In this case, we're going to choose Achieve 3000 and SP2, which is used by several automotive pathways across the district. One key thing to note is that these logins are not signing in with Google. These are going to be created by the website themselves, so students will be using unique username and password information to log in. They will not be using their Google accounts. We will also be showing you when websites don't work. We're going to show you what the error message is using CNN.com as an example of a website that can't be embedded due to safety protocols on the website itself. We also are going to show you embedding a website that requires a Google login if it was set up this way. We're going to be showing you that with Newsela and what that looks like. So let's get to it. We're going to go ahead and edit our page. And we're going to place our cursor where we want the website embedded. We're going to go to locate our website. In this case, we'll choose a Wikipedia page. We're going to go ahead and copy the URL, go back to iframegenerator.com. We're going to paste in the URL. Now, an important keynote we need to make sure that we do is that this scroll bar here needs to be changed from no to yes. This is going to allow us to vertically navigate scrolling up and down in the website as it's embedded in the Schoology platform. So the key thing here is scroll bar needs to be at yes. Once you have that, go ahead and click Generate and then copy it. We'll go back to Schoology and we'll put the cursor where we want it. We're going to switch to HTML and we're going to paste in our text. We're going to click Save Changes. And we see that the website is embedded. And we do have scrolling options here. Notice we can scroll up and down within this website. If we want to change the sizing of this, we'll go ahead and edit our page. Go ahead and make it bigger. And we see that we have Wikipedia embedded in here, and students can actually navigate away from this page and use this website as if they were opening a new tab, but it's all within Schoology at this point. We're now going to embed a website that requires a login that's a non-Google login. So we're going to choose Achieve 3000. Another website that automotive teachers use is SP2, and you may have a website that you have your students use. Go ahead and check it out. We're going to test this out with Achieve 3000 login page. We're going to again start by copying the URL at the top. We're going to go to Iframe Generator. We're going to go ahead and paste that URL into the iframe URL slot. We're going to change the scroll bar from no to yes. We're going to select Generate, and we're going to select Copy it. We're then going to go to Schoology, where we will edit our page. We're going to switch to HTML. Now, this is the code that's above. With a page, we can embed multiple. So we're going to get a new line here on our cursor and paste our text in. Click Save Changes. And we see that our website, Achieve 3000, is embedded. Again, you can resize this by editing the page and clicking and dragging if you like to. We can show you that we can log in here for information, and students would be able to navigate and select any text or information that you have assigned to them. We're now going to take a look at a website that may not work. There's several websites, and many websites will not work to be embedded in Schoology, just because the security protocols that are established by the developers of the website do not allow embedding their website into other websites. And so for that reason, we really need to guess and check when you do this. So for example, if we were going to try, let's say, this article on CNN.com, we're going to go ahead and copy the URL on CNN.com, go to Iframe Generator. We're going to paste in the code, paste in the URL to that website. Again, ensuring that scroll bar is selected as yes. We're going to click Generate, and we're going to select Copy. And now let's see what happens when we try to embed CNN into Schoology. We're going to switch to HTML. We're going to enter down to a new line. We're going to paste our code in. Click Save Changes. And we see that while Wikipedia and Achieve 3000 are embedded, we see that we have an error message from CNN.com. If you receive this message, then this website cannot be embedded into Schoology. We are now going to show you what happens when we can embed a website, for example, Newsela, but we have to sign in via the Google sign-in, and I'll show you what happens there. This is also not going to work. So again, we'll go through the process. Let's say I want to sign in Newsela, so I want to embed Newsela website. So we're going to copy the Newsela URL. We're going to go to Iframe Generator. We're going to paste in the code. We're going to ensure scroll bar is selected as yes. We're going to generate the new code. We're going to copy it, and we're going to paste it into our Schoology page. We're going to switch to HTML, enter down to a new line, paste in the code, select Save Changes. And we notice that Newsela is embedded. Now when we click Sign In, and we select one of our single sign-on options like Google, for example, we notice that we get the accounts.google refused to connect. This is something that is most likely not going to be accessible. So if you're using a website where students need to sign in with Google, you're going to have them go to a new page. It's not going to work when you embed it. If you find any that do work, please let us know here at GOHSD Tech. Anyway, this has been an overview of websites that work to be embedded and websites, what it looks like when they're not going to work to be embedded. Again, the best practice here would be just to ensure that you test it out first on your own before you send students here in an anticipation of success.